Hey folks, Jonathan Wilson, TogaMan GuitarViols. It is the Friday walkthrough. I'm gonna do just sort of a little bit of a vlog here today. A few things to chomp on here. Anyway, I want to give a shout out though. We're listening to a CD by Loga Ramin Torkian. And actually, his band with his wife Azam Niaz, they'll be playing at the Royce Hall August the 19th, I believe, on a Saturday, is it? Let me look at my... Yes, it seems it's a Saturday. So anyway, shout out to Loga and Azam and Niaz. Anyway, you know, in the early days, this was the very one that Loga would come over and practice on while I was building his. That was the first prototype. So we have a lot of stories here going on simultaneously and otherwise. This is one that's for Loga, but it's special because it has to start with a fretless board. And he does these micro ties around it, like sort of old lute and style, or viola da gamba style. So this is going to be in a mono package. Right now it's in the middle of all the throes of finishing and putting it together, and a few little engineering stunts I'm having to pull in this this section here, just because I want to make it so it's really friendly to get all those little micro notes that he goes for. Anyway, on the rack though, I did want to talk about this a little bit, is that, as you know, or some of you have been following me for a while now, I've been patterning these things from a master that was made some years ago, and been going down. Initially it was launched as a carbon fiber project, but the more carbon fiber ones I was building, the more I didn't like it, and it was the finish process was just pretty epic. And I'm fortunate to have some friend in Josh Lang at Lang Customs, who's a master at carbon fiber and does cars and all kinds of things. So shout out to Josh at Lang Customs. But anyway, so I've been dealing with different materials over time. A hybrid of the carbon fiber, hybrid of flax, or flax on flax, or flax over hemp, or hemp over flax. So I've been really, throwing the spaghetti, and I believe I really hit a very pivotal time in this. The big deal here also is that I can get these things pretty close, a lot closer to finish, and keep it pretty that way, right? Rather than go through all this post-production work if there's just like any little craters that happened or something like that. And so we, kind of really had taken the time. This one's getting some corrective work done to it. Actually, I got to trim these tabs off. This one just got its top glued on and its veneer on there, so it's going through its initial stages. But it does have sort of a pretty, and this is kind of what got us thinking about it, was it's the actual texture of the finish, or the the look of the fibers, as and it's a combination. I can't tell you everything, but because I had to go through a lot to get here, but I believe I've got this is just it. And the fun part about it is it's starting to get fun because we can actually play with the colors. I have one over here. This was a couple pulls ago, and it's just really gorgeous, kind of like a tealy kind of thing. And it didn't. I've had to do solve a little bit of a dry out with some art, so this might have a little different color and a little glow in the dark. So you'll get to see this one come along as its own piece of art. And I got a hull here that's getting ready to get labeled and put the rest of it on there. So you see, I've got my day pretty cut out for me. And then this guy here, I've got to get the get it sanded and get some coats on it. I'm just in that coating stage, which again is something I'm really trying to avoid in the future. You know, I really would like to get it all like done in the first performance really well and not fix it in the mix or fix it in post, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm super duper excited about all of this though, really, because this particular model and the actual pattern that I've put together really is the epitome of my work in terms of, you know, how it sits, how it feels, how it plays, you know, just this nice transition of a neck. Of course, it's a little dirty on that one, but you know what I mean, that real smooth profile that just kind of bleeds right into the body. So I'm, you know, totally stoked with all of this stuff. And that's this is an example of one of the older builds, which I'm really not doing much of anymore. But you can see the neck, you know, has a, you know, back to it. So it's kind of like that little speed bump I run into, which, I mean, I had a nice, you know, twisted cutaway for many years, and that's been very typical of pretty much everything I've built in the last decade, for sure. But this is a new decade, of course, and a new TogaMan. It's a good thing I abandoned this painting way back in like Y2K 2001 because I wanted to go build the real thing instead of just copy a painting. And to be honest with you, my skills are not 100% sharp when it comes to, you know, I've had a little bit of a painting background in my life, but you know, it's one of those things that, you know, you can get back into it, I guess, and you sort of re-escalate skills, but you know, it just hasn't been in my day as much. So these are the type of things I'm really excited about, though, you know, just getting this crazy look. So, and I've had some nice feedback from many of you. Thank you so much. And probably you're going to see a couple little other color variants going through, just because the hardest one to get is green, because you know, the way they kind of mix, it's crazy. So I get to experiment with other things, and the other thing that mischief, maybe some glow stuff in there, you know. So it's going to get fun. But more importantly, just the happiness level I have right now with the state of the art, with how this thing feels and plays. And my only regret right now is I don't have one in the room tuned up that I can play this second. So this one's gonna be tuned up pretty soon here. I just gotta get it kind of dialed in. So, and of course, a few other ones to follow. You can see that as I'm walking around the shop. This top's got to get its, you know, finish, or, you know, sanded anyway, just to get it to the next stage. And when you tap these things, when they're incredible. I mean, I get so excited about it. But anyway, so a lot happening, and we're definitely, you know, playing a lot of catch up. Oh, there's something I did want to mention here. My friend Al Bain for Leather, he did this reupholstery to a Dean guitar chair I had many years ago when I used to work in the dealers, and, you know, and it fell apart eventually. I loved the chair, it felt great, and I just had Al many years ago, about 2012 maybe, 2011, 2012, do the, you know, little tasseled things off the Ball album of Iron Butterfly, of which I'm a fan of that old album. So I was just trying to do something kind of groovy. But anyway, Al just opened up a store on Sunset Boulevard next to right in the same little block of where the Sunset Grill is. Remember the Sunset Grill down at the Sunset Grill? And then there is Guitar Center right there. So anyway, if you're down in that area, pay Al Bain for Leather a visit. Anyway, I'm going to dive back into this stuff. You guys have a great weekend and an exceedingly awesome weekend. Stay inspired.